matchups of Week 2 kicks off the day here in Durham, a game with potential playoff implications. As the Blue Devils, led by Tulane transfer quarterback Darian Mensah, entertain 11th-ranked Illinois and one of the most improved players in college football last year, Luke Altmaier, who hopes to lead the Illini to the postseason. Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Serve Pro. And from Wallace Wade Stadium, you're watching the ACC on ESPN. Welcome to the booth. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, and Taylor McGregor down on the field. Well, Dusty, it's been a quarter century since the expectations were this high for Illinois to truly contend for a Big Ten championship. They won 10 games last year, tying a school record, and they have the second most returning starters in all of college football.
Well, continuity is key and rare in college football. And this Illinois team has that. 5 offensive linemen return, a third-year starting quarterback, both coordinators, a team that is a legitimate playoff contender, but a tall test here today at Duke, a Blue Devil program that's on the rise. 9 wins a year ago for Manny Diaz, and they think they can get even better because of this guy, their quarterback, who they identified, the pocket presence, the ability to push the ball down the field matches perfectly with this system. But a tall challenge here today against this Illinois defense.
And with more on Mensah, here's Taylor.
Dave, it's been a wild ride for Darian Mensah. Last year during fall camp for Tulane, he was the scout team quarterback. He ended up impressing coaches so much, he won the starting job and helped guide Tulane to 9 wins a season ago. When he entered the portal, though, Duke identified him as one of the best players in all of college football, and they have compensated him as such. Pete Thamel reporting that over 2 years here at Duke, Darian Mensah will make $7.5 million, an indication that Duke doesn't just want to be known as a basketball school, Dave.
And we will see Mensah here in just a second. Illinois, Taylor, won the toss and deferred, so Duke will get the ball first. David Olano kicking it deep. And this will be a touchback, and the Blue Devils will start on the 25. Well, as Taylor talked about Mensah, and Dusty mentioned the pocket presence, which really stood out when the coaches identified him as their guy. And you look at what he did week 1 against Elon. He completed his final 14 passes and threw for almost 400 yards.
Big arm, can make every throw on the field. One of the big attractions for him and this Duke football team is offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer's philosophy to push the ball down the field. We're going to see Darian Mensah take his shots here today against this Illinois secondary.
And a handoff to Moore, who gets the corner on first down and picks up 8 yards before he's cut down. Let's take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Well, for the Duke side of things, it's going to be a wide receiver, the Harvard transfer, Cooper Barcade, a huge addition, and the big 6'3", 255-pound running back of Illinois, Caden Fegan.
Here's Moore, the Duke running back, nowhere to go. A flag comes in as he's brought down by Dvorak. Face mask grab
personal
there
foul
by the defense.
Face mask, defense number 36, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The penetration good by Dvorak, but as he reaches out to grab Moore, grabs a handful of face mask, costly penalty on second down.
There's Brett Bielema, who's done a tremendous job at Illinois. Year 5 for him, got a new 6-year contract extension. Had great success at Wisconsin. Didn't work out as well as he had hoped at Arkansas, but he's back and one of the top coaches in the country. Moore trying to find a hole, and he's into Illinois territory before he's spilled after a gain of 5. So they're leaning on Jaquez Moore here on this opening drive.
Like the patience of Jaquez Moore. Nothing there initially, chops the feet in the hole, has the vision to find some space and get a nice pickup on first down. He was injured a year ago. He's back, he's healthy, and this Duke offense very excited to have their veteran running back in the fold.
Yeah, missed 8 games last year. 2 years ago, almost 700 yards on the ground. He'll get it again. So a healthy dose of Jaquez Moore, and he's got close to a first down at the 42 of Illinois.
Interior blocking really good inside. It's also a veteran offensive line for Duke. 4 of their 5 starters are back. The center, Matt Craycraft, doing a good job opening up that hole, and continued patience for from Jaquez Moore, back-to-back runs, just allowing those blocks to set up before he has the burst.
And there's an injured Illinois player. It's Caleb Patterson, the corner that made the tackle. It is hot, it is humid, and have to imagine that will play a role throughout today's game. Temperature expected to reach close to 90 degrees here in Durham. Humidity is at 60% right now, and it's 86 right now, but again, expected to get warmer.
Talking with Brett Bielema, he said he's had his eye on the weather in Durham for weeks now. He's been monitoring it, but he said similar weather has been there in Champaign, but he did tell us hydration, a huge point of emphasis, and the ability to roll players, feel like their depth will help allow them to be able to deal with the up-tempo offense Duke presents and also the warm weather they're going to encounter here today. Seen several runs here to start day. That sets up play action. If Illinois starts to creep up, won't be surprised if here in the next few plays we see Darian Mintz in this offense try to utilize some play action.
Although right now, no backs. Empty on first down at the 41. First pass for Mensah, and he has a completion to Hasley, the tight end. And he picks up about 3 yards before he's brought down.
Well, Illinois is a primarily man team. Zone right there, and a really good job by Hasley sitting down in the soft part of the zone, and a quick and easy find for Darian Mensah.
Gave him forward progress all the way to the 35, so actually a 6-yard pickup. Anderson Castle in the game now at running back, and Mensah will keep it, and he's got a huge lane. He slides before the defender comes in for the hit, and he did get enough to move the sticks at the 29.
This is an excellent read by Mensah. Watch him key the defensive end. As that defensive end crashes and closes down, it's an easy decision for him to keep it, get to the edge, and get a nice pickup and another first down.
And here they go with tempo. Castle, the ball carrier, and he gets pushed back at the 26-yard line by Leon Lowry. And we talked about continuity for Illinois. Duke has 4 returning starters on the offensive line, and obviously a new quarterback, but we already touched on Moore's return. They have some new receivers. They feel like they have much more speed on the perimeter, but they feel confident they can run the ball even against a Big Ten front. Mensah to throw. Pocket breaking down. Mensah on the run. Keeps his eyes downfield, but nobody available, so he takes off and scoots out of play. They have lost a yard.
And that's one thing you'll see throughout this ball game. Mensah keeps those eyes down the field. He's got good mobility, pocket awareness, but when he scrambles to throw, doesn't scramble to run. Nice job on the back end of that Illinois defense, sticking with their coverage.
A 1-yard setback. Mensah could have easily just stuck the ball out there as he's heading to the sideline to get back to the line of scrimmage, but did not.
Cooper Barkate, one-on-one coverage. And love what they've seen from him. Might like this matchup.
Mensah facing a 3-man rush. Steps up and takes off and pushed out of bounds about 3 yards shy of a first down by Malachi Hood. 4th down.
I think this is spot Manny Diaz. You like what you saw on this opening drive. Take the points, bring the field goal unit out, trust your kicker, and come away with success here on this opening drive.
Yeah, Todd Polino, pretty reliable last year. 1 for 2 last week, though. And a 40-yard attempt here. And the kick is good. So a good start for the home team. Duke up 3-0. It'll be Illinois' turn. And veteran quarterback Luke Altmaier in his 3rd year as the starting signal caller for the Illini, next from Durham.
Heroes on ABC.
All right, Matt, obviously a struggle for Arch week 1 in the loss in Columbus. So it'll be a touchback, and Illinois will start on the 25. And Luke Altmaier mentioned this at the start of the telecast. Last year was one of the most improved players in all of college football.
Efficient, started making better decisions. You can really circle all the way back to the 4-interception performance in 23 against Penn State. Gotten so much better from that. He's got a ton of confidence. Talking with him this week, you could just feel the confidence, the comfort, and the maturity in this veteran quarterback.
He'll hand it off to Lawfery on first down, able to break a tackle and dive to the 30. You mentioned the game against Penn State. The reason that you did is because Manny Diaz, who's now the head coach at Duke, was the defensive coordinator that day for Penn State. And both teams spent a lot of time watching that film from a few years ago in preparation for this game.
Same scheme for Illinois offensively, same scheme you'll see defensively from this Duke team.
Altmaier fires complete. First down near midfield to Hank Beatty. Gain of 20 on the play.
This is an excellent throw. Kendall Johnson, the linebacker, just gets frozen. And an absolute dart to Hank Beatty. Had an excellent week 1 and off to a good start here.
Illinois goes with tempo. Lawfery dragged down for a 2-yard loss in the backfield by Kendall Johnson. Good penetration by the front for Duke. They were among the nation's leaders in tackles for a loss a year ago.
That's what they do. They're going to move up front. They're going to get vertical. They're going to try to create disruption and negative plays. That was Aaron Hall, the senior, who's off to an excellent start. He was dominant against Elon and good penetration to set up that TFL.
Duke showing pressure, and Altmaier with a quick throw, and it's high and incomplete, intended for Colin Dixon. It'll bring up 3rd down and 13.
3rd and long, an area that this Illinois team would like to stay out of. They want to be a team that's going to stay in front of the chains. 2 really good edge rushers for Duke. 97 Wesley Williams, 7 Vincent Anthony, but we talked about the veteran presence of this offensive line for Illinois. But a matchup for these edges to this Duke defense and this Illinois offense in these situations.
Altmaier changing things up. They have full confidence in his ability to do that. Facing a 4-man rush. Altmaier hit in the pocket and sacked back at the 40. Vincent Anthony, who had a sack last week as well.
It's his length and the bend around the edge. He's 6'6", 260, and a nice get off, and he gets the rip up on the excellent left tackle, J.C. Davis. Watch him work here. Watch the bend off the edge. He gets low, and it's tough for a 6'6" frame to get low. But when that rip comes up, bends that edge, Davis can't get his knees down, and a big sack on 3rd down for Duke.
Crimmins takes the high snap and gets the kick away. And Brown lets it go. Illinois cannot track it down before it reaches the end zone. Touchback, it will come out to the 20. And time now for another edition of Dusty's Defensive Dudes.
Well, we got some dudes in this game, and it starts on the Illinois defense. One of the premier pass rushers in the Big Ten, Gabe Akis. He is so powerful and dominant with his hands at the line of scrimmage. And we've already seen Vincent Anthony Jr. I think he is primed for a breakout season for this Duke defense. That length is so hard for offensive tackles to deal with, but dealing with Gabe Akis is a problem for everybody. 7 sacks last year in the Big Ten, and it's going to be a real factor throughout this game, not just against the pass, but also against the run. 17 can be a game record for this Illinois defense.
Duke will run it on 1st down with Moore, and he gets nothing. Dropped at the point of attack by James Thompson, a 5-year player at Wisconsin who transferred to Illinois in the offseason. Duke up 3-0, aided by a face mask penalty on Illinois that gave them 15 yards, put them in field goal range. 40-yard field goal by Todd Polino. 2nd possession for Duke here in the 1st quarter. And Mensah to throw. Checks it down to Moore. And Moore bounces off one tackler. He'll come up a couple of yards shy of a 1st down.
And again, zone coverage on this 2nd down. And one of the things, talking with Jonathan Brewer, how do you beat the zone? You got to take what the defense gives you and sometimes check it down. A smart decision, get it to your back, and now set up third and very manageable for this Duke offense.
Well, the coaches told us yesterday, along with his great pocket presence, he's very smart. Not easy to come in, especially when you're making a lot more money than everybody else, to have the locker room trust you immediately. But they did. We talked to a couple players about that. Mensah leaving the pocket, being chased, and throws it away before he's sacked. Dylan Rosiak had the pressure, and Duke will have to punt.
Well, this is a great job in coverage. Illinois, where they're comfortable, defensive coordinator Aaron Henry, he loves to go man-to-man, and it's just great coverage all over the place. Everybody's locked up. Nowhere for Darian Mensah to go with the football. These Duke receivers, can they create separation? No separation created. Everybody's covered. Everybody's covered. And then you see the pursuit. Nowhere for Mensah to go. Excellent third down defense for Illinois.
Hank Beatty, who broke Red Grange's punt return yard record for a single game last week, is back. He won't get a chance at it. Short kick. It'll be Illinois ball when we come back to Durham.
In college football is presented by Serve Pro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration, and in part by Buffalo Wild Wings.
That win over South Carolina was Illinois' first ever against an SEC team. Brett Bielema in year 5, after Illinois was one of the worst teams in the country for a 5-year span, has the Illini ranked 11th. They were preseason number 12, their highest since 1990. The last time they've been in the top 10 was back in 2001. After the punt, they'll start this drive on their 27, trailing 3-0 here at Duke. And Altmaier to the air, his third pass attempt, and it's over the outstretched arm of Colin Dixon, incomplete. Well, last year was a historical season for Illinois. 10 wins, tied for most in school history. 4 wins against ranked teams, also tied for most in school history. We talked about the win over South Carolina. They also had 5 fourth-quarter comeback wins, the most in the country.
5-1 in one-score games. Good, disciplined football teams find a way to win close games, and it's great coaching. Brett Bielema, a big-time coach, and the job he's done in Illinois, really tough to put into terms the improvement we've seen.
Here's a jet sweep to Khalil Valentine. They love to get the ball in his hands out in space. He's a tailback, but they feel like he can catch the ball. That will go down as a reception, and a short gain, 3rd and long.
Last 3rd and long situation we saw, these pass rushers of Duke pin their ears back. It was Vincent Anthony Jr., but there's also the heavy-handed Wesley Williams on the opposite side. It's the plan to slow down these edge rushers for this Duke defense.
Altmaier surveying, throwing incomplete, knocked down by Kimari Robinson on the pass intended for Dixon. There is a penalty flag, and it's way downfield near the 50-yard line.
A lot of grabbing by Robinson at the top of that route.
Well, they just picked up the flag and moved it closer to where that pass was thrown.
Pass interference. Defense, number 16. Ball be placed in the spot on the foul. 1st down.
Now, he said number 16, but I think he meant number 5.
Mari Robinson working on Dixon. That left hand right on the neck, back of the neck area. He was pulling, grabbing. That's what drew the flag.
And number 16 is a backup quarterback. He was not out on the field, so that was definitely on Robinson, the corner. Now 6'3", 255-pound tailback Caden Fagan in the game for Illinois. They fake it to him. Altmaier throws a slant, and it's caught, and then the ball's fumbled and recovered by Duke. Elsie coughed it up. Deshaun Stone comes up with the recovery.
Well, Caleb Weaver, the Sam Houston State transfer, who coaches told us a great addition, punches this ball free after the catch by Elsie. The simple slant, a strike thrown. That ball
It was a completed pass followed by a fumble, recovered by the defense. It plays under further review. Timeout on the field.
Possession by Malik Elzy before that ball came loose.
He definitely was juggling it at one point. The question is, was that after he had secured it? They're going to take a look here, so we'll step away. If the call is upheld, it's going to be Duke ball at midfield. Replay overturns the call on the field. Never had control of the ball, did Elzy. It's incomplete.
Yeah, it's the right call on the field. One thing Elzy's got to do, pluck that ball with his hands. For young receivers everywhere, don't let that ball in your body. Strong hands and make a catch in that situation.
So now it's 2nd and 10 with Duke stacking the box defensively. And Fagan the ball carrier, and it's not easy to bring him down in the hole, but Wes Williams, you talked about those strong hands. He was able to grab him and rip him to the ground.
Fagan, 6'3", 255, one of the bigger body running backs you'll see in college football, but he's got sweet feet and vision. Thought we'd see a heavier dose of him early in this game. We haven't. Now yet another 3rd and long situation here for this Illinois offense. 3rd time we've seen 3rd and 8+ already in this first quarter. They like to show pressure, then they're going to bail out. Little cat and mouse game here with Duke defense and Luke Altmaier checking at the line.
And the play clock down to 4. Altmaier looking in trouble, steps up and spun down for a sack. It's sack number 2 for Vincent Anthony Jr.
Well, you're going to see all these bodies at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to bail. And you're going to see the pressure come here, but it's going to be Vincent Anthony Jr. off the other edge now who's going to be able to come home. Again, they're showing 7 at the line of scrimmage, 3 drop, 4 come. Can you identify it? What a start to this game for Vincent Anthony Jr.
And a penalty marker thrown, movement by Illinois pre-snap. Although the last kick by Crimmins went 60 yards, so he can still
offense number 16, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
One of the things when we talked with Manny Diaz yesterday about Vincent Anthony Jr., he highlighted Anthony's increased speed. He's a local kid, went to Jordan High School here in Durham, really worked on his game and has become a real threat off the edge for Duke. Many people feel the Blue Devils a dark horse in the ACC race this year after 9 wins a year ago. And it's mocked. The ball's on the ground. Recovered by Illinois. Quayshawn Brown, who had a punt return for a touchdown last week, just had it bounce off his chest. And Tyler Strain gets the fumble recovery for Illinois.
A massive mistake here by Quayshawn Brown. Ball just comes right off his arms, shoulder pads, and this Illinois offense in prime position. Excellent job being down there by Illinois in position to take advantage of the miscue.
We just saw a receiver let the ball come to his chest. I know it's different on a punt return. You wonder, was Quayshawn Brown thinking about making that first guy miss after what he did last week with a punt return for a touchdown rather than securing the ball?
Didn't worry about anything. He had 2 guys sitting right there waiting on him. Should have just secured the punt, unable to do so.
So 1st down in the red zone to start the possession, and here's Fagan, and he gets drilled. A big hit to the legs, and that's what you need to do if you're Nick Morris Jr. He went in there low on Fagan.
Well, he's one of the leaders of this defense, downhill linebacker. He praised his prowess in the weight room, and you got to bring that weight room to the table when you're tackling Caden Fagan, but really impressed so far with this Duke front. That was kind of the question. It's a much bigger, physical Big Ten Illinois offensive line, and so far Duke winning at the line of scrimmage and negating this Illinois rushing attack.
This is play 12, and they've had 7 that have gone for a loss. After the 1-yard setback on 2nd and 11, a quick toss to Beatty out in space, breaks a tackle at the 15, and then finally grabbed at the ankles by Trey Freeman at the 14, a gain of 5, 3rd down and 6.
See Hank Beatty become one of the go-to guys these first 2 games for Luke Altmaier. Veteran seniors, been around this Illinois program. It feels like an important 3rd down here early. You get a gift like that, got to find a way to cash in. Can they convert on a 3rd down? It's been struggle city here so far. Showing pressure here once again.
Altmaier with pressure in his face, steps up and throws to the end zone. It's caught. And it's a touchdown. Justin Bowick caught the ball, and the ruling is he was in the end zone when he did.
Well, Bowick has been a red zone target. Where's the ball when he catches it? That foot's in, but the ball is not in, Dave.
Bowick had 2 touchdowns last week. What a play by Altmaier to step up away from pressure. Ball is clearly short of the goal line, but the feet are in.
I think it's going to be a catch, and they're going to mark it around the 1.5 yard line. But it's going to be enough to move the chains and get the first down. And you touched on it.
4 touchdowns.
Just an outstanding.
So ruling on the field is a touchdown. Every play is reviewed, so they'll look at this further to make sure. Let's bring in Jerry McGinn, our rules expert. Jerry, did you see it the same way we did up here?
After a replay review, it is a completed pass. The ball be placed at the 1 yard line, 1st and goal, Illinois.
That was a nice quick review. Exactly, Dusty. He had control of the ball, but the ball never broke the plane of the goal line. So it was a great quick review by replay.
I do appreciate the expediency of this crew so far. Here's the pressure. This is so good by Luke Altmaier. Watch him sidestep the pressure as it comes barreling down. Sidestep, eyes down the field. Bowick working back to him, resets, and a strike fired to pick up that first down. That's excellent quarterbacking by the veteran senior, Luke Altmaier. No panic, total poise under pressure, and he locates his big target.
It's Fagan straight ahead, and he gets stuffed. Great job again up front by Duke against the big tailback. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Trey Freeman there off the edge. There's just nowhere to go, stacking it up. Got a lot of respect for this Illinois offensive line. We've touched on J.C. Davis, Josh Geske, left guard, Love, Josh Krutz, the tough veteran center, the 2-time captain on the interior. But right now, they're getting stymied at the point of attack.
They go with 6 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends and a fullback here on 2nd and goal.
It's got to go to 3, right?
It will, and Fagan gets hit but falls forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Illinois. It wasn't really working with the basic formation, so they brought in the ultra jumbo package there with the extra linemen, couple of tight ends and a fullback, and finally Fagan able to find his way forward for Pater.
Nick Morris in position. He was trying to come downhill, slightly overran the play, and doesn't bring enough to the table to bring down Fagan.
So Illinois capitalizes on the turnover by Duke inside its own 20. And Alano gets the extra point to go. Crimmins, the holder, had a little trouble with the snap, but the kick is good.
Big touchdown here for Illinois. It all started, though, with Quayshawn Brown unable to field this punt. Calls for the fair catch. He's not thinking anything but catch the ball. Bobbles the ball. Really nice job by Illinois getting on top of it, but the poise from Luke Altmaier, pressure in his face, steps up. An excellent catch working back to the football by Justin Bowick. And boy, if you're around the goal line, not many bigger and better in these situations than Caden Fagan, who powers his way into the end zone.
It was really interesting talking with Luke Altmaier this week, and what we just saw there, we would not have seen 2 years ago. In fact, he told us prior to that at Ole Miss, he said, I failed. And I questioned if I belonged in college football when I came to Champaign 2 years ago. But it has been an incredible metamorphosis as he has turned into one of the top quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
And he credits Brett Bielema. He credits his pastors, his sports psychologists. And he's really worked hard on building that confidence in becoming the player that he is today.
Higgins will let this one go over his head for a touchback. Let's check in with Matt Barry now in the studio.
Subway, fresh play, and E.J. Manuel. Rejoice, exhale, however you like it. Arch finally gets one by going to Parker Livingston.
And this is a great play call by Texas right here. You got the run out right there by Ryan Wingo, allowing Livingstone to get open. He takes it to the rest of the way for the crib.
They just got an interception on defense, so Arch back in the field in the red zone. We'll show you that if anything happens. Kind of a name-your-number day for Penn State taking on FIU. That's Khalil Dinkins for 6-7-0 net yards.
All right, Matt, and here it's 7-3 Illinois. After the turnover by Duke deep in its own end. Mensah going to work now for the Blue Devils on the rollout. Goes to the second level and hits Barkate. He steps out of bounds right at the 35. Got the first down.
They love this addition of Cooper Barkate from Harvard. They told us an elite route runner. Really nice job with the route there coming open. And you see the accuracy on the move from Mensah.
FCS All-America at Harvard. Graduated in 3 years, and what a debut against Elon. Mensah off play action, setting up. And again, dumping it down. It's Nate Shepard, the true freshman running back. He's stopped immediately after the catch. A gain of a couple.
Zone coverage once again. Darian Mensah just trying to stay patient. Nothing down the field, not forcing the football. And once again, taking his check down, but good job rallying to the ball by Illinois on a minimal gain.
Mensah, another pass play, quick release, and a strike for a first down out near midfield. Jaden Moore, who had 3 catches last week, gets his first one today.
Well, zone coverage once again, and it's the youngster, Jaden Moore. Really does an excellent job. Watch him just sit down right here in the soft spot in the zone. He finds space, and good timing here from Mensah to Moore.
Now they'll run it. Shepard downhill. And close to a first down, tripped up at the 41 on what could be the final play of the first quarter. Although Duke trying to get one snap here before the clock hits triple zeros on 2nd down and 1. And Mensah throws complete. Andrel Anthony, a 2-time transfer who played at Michigan and Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, those teams play tonight on ABC. With a first down catch and with 1 quarter in the books, Duke trying to pull the upset over number 11 Illinois, trailing here in Durham 7-3. Start of the second quarter in Durham with number 11 Illinois leading Duke 7-3. Moments ago, Taylor caught up with Blue Devil head coach Manny Diaz.
Coach, it seems like you guys have offensively been able to get into a rhythm this drive. What has allowed for that?
We won P&10. Really good play call, get the ball on the perimeter. They're doing a good job of mixing up their looks. They have a lot of respect for us and the way we can throw the football. But I like Darian. He's calm, he's cool, and we're getting a drive going.
Year 2 for Diaz, 9-4 last year. Mensah on the move again, and he throws deep, and it's incomplete. Off the hands of Barkate, looked like a catchable pass. That's just the 2nd incompletion for Darian Mensah in his last 22 attempts going back to week 1.
Wow, is that a great ball from Darian Mensah rolling to his right. He puts it in a perfect spot, and Barkate just unable to bring it in. Coverage was pretty good. That pass only where his receiver could catch it, but Barkate unable to come up with the catch.
Illinois taking its sweet time with its substitutions, and they snap it. There was an extra man on the field, so a flag is down. Not sure why the Illinois player, Brett Bielema, thought that they should be allowed to substitute because his player was sauntering off the field. He was not sprinting.
Illegal substitution. 12 players on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Coach Bielema, as you mentioned, he is not.
He wasn't
happy.
within the 3-second window. I had already turned.
It's not just the heat here in Durham. Angelo McCullum trotting off the field, but they haven't stopped play, and Duke smartly snaps it and draws the flag.
So that'll put the ball on the 26-yard line of Illinois. 2nd down and 5. Nate Shepard up the middle. Falls forward for a couple. We touched on Matty Diaz and the success he had last year. We asked him, how did you know? How did you identify so quickly that Darian Mensah was your quarterback? He talked about his skill set, but then he also said, like us, he's got a chip on his shoulder and he really fits our culture.
That's what he said. He said he fits in perfectly there at Duke. And chip on his shoulder. Manny Diaz has a chip on his shoulder. Remember, he was previously the head coach at Miami. He thought he ended his tenure there, winning 5 of 6 in a good way, gets let go, goes to Penn State. He's learned, he's got more experience, and he's really got this program in a good spot here, year number 2.
And 3rd and 2, Castle driving the legs, gets the first down to the 20-yard line.
How about the sweet feet here by the App State transfer, Anderson Castle. Most physical running back, but it's the footwork. Whoop. Little jump cut to the right. Avoids the penetration and moves the chains for Duke.
And here he is again. And he gets popped by Dylan Rosiak, but just bounced off him. One of the things when the coaches were describing Anderson Castle they did not mention yesterday was his feet. They talked about his toughness. He was a high school running quarterback, just a bull, a short yardage back. And you saw that physicality there on that last play. Rosiak, who had the hit, got the worst of it. But it was the great athletic movement on the last carry. Got an injured Illinois defensive lineman, James Thompson Jr. He missed 10 games last year at Wisconsin due to injury. They'll check on him and we'll step away.
Welcome back here to North Carolina on the sideline. Dylan Rosiak, linebacker for Illinois, getting evaluated by trainers. They took him into the tent moments ago, and now he's walking down the sideline. He's been holding his left leg, so something to monitor amongst the linebacking core for Illinois.
That's a lot to monitor. Taylor, 2-time captain, the meat and potatoes of this defense. Aaron Henry said Rosiak makes this defense go. They need him back on the field in this game.
At least he's out of the tent now, as you just saw. 2nd down and 9. And Duke will keep it on the ground with Moore, who's able to get the edge. Stays in bounds at the 10. And then chopped out at about the 8-yard line by Miles Scott. It'll be 1st and goal for Duke.
What's Landon King on the perimeter, the tight end, does a nice job here getting just enough of the edge player. Watch the slight hesitation from Jaquez Moore. Slow plays it, and then the burst, and he's able to get to the perimeter and move the chains.
Duke with 58 rushing yards. Illinois has -6 so far here in the first half. Mensah, pump fake, turns the other way, lobs into the end zone. Dropped, incomplete. Landon King couldn't hang on. There are flags on the field. So 2 drops here on this drive by Duke. Great call by Jonathan Brewer, the offensive coordinator. Executed beautifully by Mensah. King just put it on the ground. Duke had a drop touchdown last week.
He knows where receiver downfield. Offense number 53. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Offense number 85. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Boy, that's a big penalty, taking him from the 8 to the 23. That was the tight end Jeremiah Hasley with a pass interference.
and it's the right tackle, Brian Parker. He's going to get up the field, and they're going to draw the flag. I love the play design here. Not executed properly, but Brian Parker gets up the field. Alec Bryant gets that pull, draws the flag, but a mistake by a veteran offensive lineman and Brian Parker being down the field.
Although that one was declined, they called the pass interference on Hasley. You could clearly see that there in the middle of the screen. So it's 1st and goal now from the 23. Mensah, wide receiver screen. Hagens with the catch. And it's ripped to the ground by Caleb Patterson. Back out there after getting shaken up in the first quarter.
Good strong hands there by Hagens to come up with that football.
Hagens 47 catches a year ago. Mensah 5 of 6 on this drive. And again, the one incompletion was the drop by Barcade on a beautiful throw downfield. And Illinois taking a long time to substitute. This time the officials are letting them do it. Not allowing Duke to snap the ball. Mensah launches it into the end zone. A lot of contact. The ball thrown out of bounds. Intended for Quayshawn Brown. Xavier Scott in coverage. No flag.
Quayshawn Brown's got great speed. He's working on one of the best safeties in the Big Ten, Xavier Scott. I mean, there's a little contact.
Both guys, though.
I didn't see anything egregious to draw the flag.
Yeah, both guys kind of hand fighting.
First team all Big Ten. The secondary, Xavier Scott. I agree with the no call there. And a good job down the field in coverage as Mensah tries to take a shot.
Now 3rd and goal on the 18 of Illinois.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So because Illinois is taking so long with its substitutions, the play clock is winding down. And Duke can't snap the ball. And now it's 3rd and goal from the 23. Wow.
The cat and mouse game here with Brett Bielema late on subbing his guys out. But if Duke changes personnel, Illinois got the opportunity.
Mensah on the rollout. Throws it inside the 10. Barcade caught it that time, but he was out of bounds. So it's an incomplete pass and will be another 40-yard field goal try for Todd Polino.
And this pass just sails on Darian Mensah. He's got Barcade open. Pass too high, wide, and outside, and draws his receiver out of bounds. Seen him move to his right a lot and throw the football. This one just gets away from him a little bit.
And Polino buries that one as well. Duke back within 1 early in the 2nd quarter here at Duke. And welcome back to Durham. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. Let's bring in our rules analyst, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, this is something Illinois does with the delayed substitution. What's allowed in that situation?
So, Dave, this is one of the points of emphasis for the officials this year, is the defensive substitution process. So the defense can sub, and they'll have the time to substitute if the offense is subbing. But they only have a 3 count to do it. Illinois is working within the rules, and they're usually at about a 2 count when they start to send their sub process in, which is legal. The one thing that the officials have to watch for today is the double sub on the defense, where Illinois will send in a group and then wait another 2 seconds, 2 count, and then send in another, expecting that the officials will hold them up, which they cannot. So in that point, they will be, the officials will let the play go, and then Illinois will have a foul.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Good explanation. Little scuffle, post whistle, everything's okay. So we'll keep an eye on that when Illinois is back on defense. Right now, let's talk Illinois offense and Luke Altmaier. Here's Taylor.
Dave, we've talked all afternoon about how Altmaier has really grown mentally. He has a reminder on his left wrist. It's the Hebrew translation for toughness. It's something that he reminds himself of is you are how you prevail in difficult moments. He feels like none of his skill sets have changed the last few years, but it's his mental attitude that has.
And here, Taylor, he throws incomplete behind Hudson Clement. He's been pressured a lot. You wonder if that's starting to get to him. But that mental toughness that Taylor talked about is a big reason why he is a transformed person, not just a quarterback. That's what he told us when we talked to him this week from what he was when he got to Champaign. And a penalty marker down. Movement by Illinois.
Tight end on the left side. Arkin a little early.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, second down.
One of the most surprising things so far, almost 19 minutes into this game, Illinois' inability to run the football whatsoever. I mean, Duke up front, and they hang their hat on their front seven and creating negative plays, but with the continuity of this offensive line, the physicality that they run with, just the inability to run the football, it's been pretty jarring here early on for this Illinois offense.
Giving up the 2 sacks, -6 rushing yards on 2nd and 15. Altmaier just 4 for 8 passing. He won't even get a chance because he's sacked for a 3rd time by Vincent Anthony Jr. Trey Freeman was back for Duke as well around Altmaier.
We call it running the hoop. Watch him bend this edge again to get his 3rd sack of the day. He's going to dip, rip, get underneath J.C. Davis, and it's like stealing an easy sack. 3 already in this first half. They got to get a better plan. J.C. Davis has been beat twice. The second one, they tried to use a tight end and a running back. They need to figure something out up front to slow down this pass rush of Duke.
And here they come again. Altmaier got hit as he released the pass. And loose down the sideline as Hudson Clement got the 1st down and more. All the way out past the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 33 yards.
Well, how about this bone-crushing block? The left tackle, J.C. Davis, he's struggling in pass pro, but superb right there, setting up and springing the yards after the catch for Hudson Clement. The big man, the all-Big Ten offensive tackle, getting on the 3rd level and putting Deshaun Stone into the turf.
Again, Altmaier did a good job on that wide receiver screen to get rid of it before he got leveled. Valentine off the left edge. And shoved out of bounds past midfield in Duke territory. Gain of 11 and a 1st down for the Illini.
Well, now J.C. Davis is feeling it. Watch the big left tackle get this kick out right here and spring this big hole off the left side to allow Valentine to accelerate, show that burst, and really the most successful run we've seen from this Illinois offense here today.
They went from -12 to -1 total rushing yards on that one play. Got a stoppage of play here.
Previous plays under further review for potential targeting.
This was something that was instituted a couple years ago, that replay can initiate a targeting call, because there was no targeting call on the field. And it was on the run play by Valentine off the left side, got hit as he went out of play. We saw the lowering of the head by the defender, Caleb Weaver.
Games.
You know I do, Barry, especially with Pash over here. He's always keeping an eye on his cues.
So the ruling on the field is upheld. No targeting. They say the defender, Caleb Weaver, got him with the side of the helmet, not the crown, because the runner was not defenseless at that point, so it had to be crown of the helmet for it to be targeting. Back to the ground game, and another negative play offensively for Illinois. Nick Morris Jr. whacks Loffery 3 yards in the backfield.
Well, Nick Morris Jr. shot out of a cannon, flying downhill, reading this the whole way. They try to pull the center, Josh Kreutz. Nobody identifies Nick Morris Jr. flying downhill. And another tackle for loss. 5 now for this Duke defense.
Duke unranked, Illinois number 11, preseason number 12. Illinois 10 wins last year, Duke 9 a year ago. Another hit to the quarterback, and the ball pinballs off the receiver, incomplete. The pass broken up by Chandler Rivers, one of the top corners in the country. Justin Bowick, the intended target, as Altmaier takes another shot.
With Chandler Rivers, one of the best corners in the country. He's a third-team All-American yesterday. Just really tight, good coverage, getting to PBU. And here we are again, 3rd and long. The only answer we've seen so far was that screen to Clement. You better have a plan for number 7, Vincent Anthony Jr. He's feeling it right now off the edge.
He's got 3 sacks here in the first half. Altmaier has time to throw and has a completion to Bowick, who stretches out, and it's going to be short by a yard, 4th down.
When they slide protection to his side now, and they get the protection that they need, they allow Luke Altmaier the time, finds Bowick, and Illinois going to go for it here on 4th and short.
You like it?
I do. I like the call here. You got a 255-pound running back. Give it to him.
And Altmaier looking to the sideline, and it hit 15 right now. He didn't hear it. Once it hits 15, that communication shuts off between the offensive coordinator and the quarterback. And so Illinois didn't know what the call was. So the Illini will have 2 timeouts remaining. That was new last year in college football. It's always been an NFL rule where you have the option, you will be able to talk to the quarterback, communication device, until 15 on the play clock, and that's where the confusion came. It was too tight there, and all of a sudden the comm shut off, and Altmaier didn't know the call.
Well, he wanted audible. I think you saw the pressure coming up, and he looked audible, and then clearly from the sidelines they wanted to get a timeout.
Now, coming up later on ABC, Ole Miss, as part of Lane Kiffin's revenge tour, going to Lexington trying to knock off Kentucky. Rebels lost at home last year to Kentucky. And then tonight, Michigan, Oklahoma, ABC and the all-new ESPN app. You live in Norman, so you probably know more about John Mateer than anybody. What do you think so far?
He looked great in the opener. And the guy is so good on the move, accuracy down the field. I think he'll be more of a runner in this game. But boy, Bryce Underwood was outstanding in his opening debut against New Mexico, throwing the football. And a big play coming right here on 4th down.
And the fullback Jordan Anderson in, and the 255-pound Caden Fagan is the tailback. And it's going to be Anderson, and he's able to muscle his way to the line to gain at the 38-yard line. Anderson's listed as a tight end on the roster, but he gets the carry there and moves the chains midway through the 2nd quarter with Illinois up 1.
Little fullback dive there. He's lined up offset. They give him the football, and it's a good job after contact, kind of spinning and leaning forward and getting enough to move the sticks.
This is the best drive today by Illinois. If you're just joining us, their first and only touchdown came when Duke muffed a punt inside its 20. They're finally able to get something going with the ground game, which has helped the quarterback. Altmaier, play fake, hit as he throws, and it's pulled in inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line is Colin Dixon, who the coaches say is special, and he's been targeted a ton here in the first half.
Well, when they can protect for Luke Altmaier, good things can happen, and it's man-to-man coverage, and Dixon just running away from Kamari Robinson, and a dart delivered from Luke Altmaier.
Gain of 33, and it's 1st down and goal at the Duke 5. Same formation in the backfield they had on that 4th down and 1 conversion. Play fake, Altmaier facing pressure again from Anthony, who's got 3 sacks, and so he has to throw it away. A flag is down, and Anthony getting into a shoving match with an Illinois offensive lineman behind the Duke bench, as the Illini did not like the way Anthony shoved Altmaier out of bounds. That was Josh Kreutz, their center.
Holding. Offense number 58, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The hold's on the right tackle, Melvin Priestley. And no penalty marker for the extracurricular activity out of bounds.
Priestley just going to get him with the hold on 4 Josiah Green. Hand just outside the framework. I got to tell you, I'm surprised they didn't get Vincent Anthony Jr. with a late, really close. I mean, he makes that contact once he's out of bounds. I love Josh Kreutz going to the defense of his quarterback.
A first and goal from the 15, and it's Laffery. And he's able to break an arm tackle and get down to the 9. As somebody that knows Josh's dad, Olin, quite well, because he played together with the Bears, I know you're not surprised that he went to the aid of his quarterback after